Hey traders, welcome to another paper trading session. In this one, we're going to be going over BNB paired with US Tether, again on the 4-hour and 1-hour charts. Also, I'm going to be quickly just looking at the trades that we could be taking right now. I don't want to miss out on those, so I will be periodically checking the charts. I do have another BTC chart to my right monitor there, but overall, I will be looking at my main trading monitor just because I like to have a good understanding of what the markets are doing, and we have a few trades that are looking pretty favorable for us. So, like last time, what we're going to do is going to be going over what we would be doing in certain situations on the time frame that we're going to be executing on. So this is going to be the 4-hour and 1-hour time frame, mainly the hour time frame. That's what we're going to execute off of, but we do like to use the 4-hour time frame as well, just to understand where the 4-hour candles are closing, if they're able to close above zones, and we incorporate that into the analysis as well. So let's first identify our key zones of supply and demand. That's the first thing we want to identify. Definitely the first thing. Let's just identify our key level of supply. And we also have this supply zone right here as well, which has been a supply zone or a resistance zone right here, which which was a previous level of support, turning into new level of resistance. And then our final zone is going to be right here. Oops. Let's just get that last zone because we see it as a level of support, resistance, support, resistance. So we have our supply zone, our demand zone, and then our mid-range zone that we're looking to break. And then like always, we're trying to get from zone to zone if possible in the ideal situation while being able to take profits along the way to ensure that we have cash flow. So without further ado, we know the overarching market structure. And let's continue on with just talking about the flow of the market. So we got our recent resistance, which we're currently at right now. So we have a lot of sell pressure within the market. That means if we do break to the upside, it'll probably be an aggressive one. And we made higher highs and higher lows here. This is a high, this is a high. So we made higher highs and higher lows, making a nice uptrend. And then we hit a previous level of support, which turned into a new level of resistance right here. And then we made lower highs and lower lows, pushing all the way, breaking the previous level of support right here. And then we had a low there, consolidating at a major level. And then when we started to pick back up, and now we're making higher highs and a higher low, so we're on an uptrend, so we're looking for longs. We're looking for the price to break this zone of resistance right here, and then potentially retest and then make another move to the upside. That's the overarching trade that we're trying to look for, is a break, pullback, and then a push from zone to zone after we've seen the price break an area of sensitivity. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for longs, we're looking for a break, pullback, and then a push to the upside. We're looking for resistances, potentially descending resistances for us to use as zones of, if the price breaks, we're looking for a potential shift in trend. That's basically what we use ascending and descending zones for. So that's what we're looking for within the price action. So now that we've identified the trend, what we're looking for, what we want to see, and the end result, now we will go onto the 4-hour and kind of look at the more granular details that we're able to find. We see a minor level of support there, but like we said before, we're not really looking to enter until we see the price break above this zone. So just on the 4-hour, let's just go candle to candle and see if we're able to get a break above the zone. If not, we are not going to enter, and there's going to be no sweat about it. But overall, we're looking for a potential move to the downside, and let's just put this level of support there because it has been proven to be a level of significance. So we're basically just squeezing between a key level of supply, which is right here, and then a key level of minor level of demand, which is our gray rectangular zone. So let's just see what the price action does. Looks like it's slowly breaking above. We don't really classify that as a break yet. So now it looks like we have broken above the zone on the 4-hour, which is a significant level. Let's just look on the 1-hour to see what happened. So we got a little consolidation above and made our first little bullish move to the upside. So now that we're above the zone on the 4-hour, now we're looking for a nice little pullback to validate this zone, potentially a descending trend line connecting the lows, some level of a break of a potential confirmation of a shift in trend. So now that we've broken it, now we're looking for the retest, and we're looking to potentially enter when we do see the pullback occur. So let's see, we got a very strong push to the upside. This is really signifying me that we have a lot of buyers enter the market. So now we're looking for the pullback to validate this previously broken resistance as a new level of support. We didn't really get any pullbacks. We did get a minor one up there, but what we're looking for is, remember, the push, a pullback, validating this zone as a new level of resistance, and then we look to enter again. So I think this is no longer needed. So it's a very simple looking chart, and let's continue on with the analysis. So we're getting our pullback. It looks like we made a lower low, and now we could potentially be making some lower highs here. And it looks like we are. So we're making lower lows and lower highs at this point right here. This is the lower highs, and then this is the lower lows, falling back to our level of support. So we see a nice little trend line there, not confirmed. We'd like to see one more key level of a touch before we look to actually confirm this zone as a key level of descending resistance. We see a nice retest and a touch with the bulls pushing the price right back up on this 4-hour wick there, indicating that there is sell or buy pressure within the market. The price came all the way down, but then got picked right back up, showing that there's bullish pressure within this market. So the price is squeezing closer together, and this is the apex right here, and the price has to make a decision. That's what we're trying to capitalize on, is the price pushing up, pulling back, and then pushing off, blasting to make the next key touch of the supply zone. So that's the overarching scope of the trade. So let's just get our snip here. So overall, we're looking for the price to get closer to the apex, which is going to be right around here. We're wanting to see the price hold this level of support, break to the upside, retest for a new level of support, and then break towards the upside. And then we'd enter once we have validation right here, and then we're looking to take profit maybe at this high and then at this high. So overall, that is the desired outcome for this trade. And if we don't see the right things occur, we just will not enter. So let's continue on with the analysis. So it looks like we could be either bouncing, rejecting pretty hard. Yep, we did get a rejection at that point. So we could move this a little bit closer, and I think we could even get a nice descending projection, connecting those lows there. So let's just quickly look back on the daily chart to see what we're able to identify. So we see a nice pullback to this key level of support, which is a previous level of resistance and support. So this is a very significant zone on the chart. We've clearly broken it on the daily, and we've pulled back, validating this zone as a new level of support. So it looks pretty good. We're looking to see the price now make higher highs and higher lows, and then we look to enter to try to capture from the move from the lows to the highs. So let's continue on with the 4-hour and just continue on with the analysis. So we see a lot of bearish momentum try to push the price back down, but then the bulls pushed it right back up, holding our key level of support. So that's looking pretty good. We see the price hold this zone very, very well. I think we're looking to potentially break this zone. Let's now take it to the 1-hour time frame to see the price in a more clear detail. So we got a very, very well-respected descending zone there. It's looking pretty good. I'm just going to quickly check something right here. ETC still not completely broken out yet. We see 2 touches of the resistance, but for now we're going to be very patient, and we still have like 40 minutes until the 1-hour closes, so got a bit of time. So let's continue on with analysis. We see a key descending zone, and what we're looking for is for the price to break a key zone, which is this descending zone right here. So we're waiting for the price to break this zone. We see the price is very well respected all along here. So break, retest a previous level of support somewhere around there. That looks like a pretty good zone. And then we're looking to long. So that's the overall outlook for this. And let's just put in our potential where we could hold. It could be here. It could be here. But let's first see where it's actually going to break, because we don't see a break yet. So that could be a break. I'm not entirely wanting to say that's a breakout yet, because we saw the price get rejected very, very quickly. But let's continue on with the analysis and see what this is able to provide us here. I think what I'm going to do is actually just redraw these lines here really quickly, because it's not perfectly on the top. And I'd like to have my anchor point very, very clear, well shown on the chart. So there's our anchor point. And then we see the wicks come down. I think this could move up a little bit higher, just so it's capturing the highest point. And then we see our projection zone come down, and then create the rest of the missing area. So overall, that is the descending resistance. And at this point, I'm still not entirely confident that I want to call that a breakout. I'd ideally like to see the price break out a little bit more. So that's looking like a lot more of a breakout. Let's just quickly move back on the 4-hour. Looks pretty good. Looks like the first pullback here. So that is, for me, a breakout, but I want to confirm that we are going to get buy volume coming into the market. We saw one bullish push, two bullish push, and now we're basically at the level of resistance again. So we do have two zones where we have buy injections come into the market. Let's talk about that for 1 second. So we broke above the zone, we closed above the zone on the 1 hour. We see our first level of buy injection. This is going to be this candle right here. That's our first injection of buy volume. And then we get our second pullback, and this is the second injection of buy volume. And then we see the next one right here with the wick protruding below the zone. So overall, we do see that there's buyers within the area, which is significant. We've seen the 4 hour hold now above the zone, which is pretty good. And on the 1 hour, we do have the price break and hold, and we do see some buy orders entering the market. But something to consider, look at this level of a resistance there. So in a more conservative entry, we'd be waiting for the price to break and test this level of resistance before we look to long. So what we're looking for on a more conservative entry would be for the price to break this zone like so, hold, retest it for a new level of support, and then look to long. So that would be a conservative entry, and an aggressive entry would be an entry basically right here or kind of closer towards the descending trend line, because then you'd have your stop loss below this area or this area, this low right here, and then you'd look to enter. So in this particular trade, I think what I'm going to do is be a little bit more patient, see what it's able to bring me. If I get an entry down here, that's great, because then my risk is significantly lower. And if we don't get an entry down here, we're looking for a bounce off this horizontal zone of current resistance. So let's continue and see candle by candle. So we got a strong bullish or bearish move to the downside, retesting that same zone again. So we got two bullish injections. Let's see if we get another bullish injection where buyers are entering the market. Little doji, indecision in the market, and there is our bullish push back again. So we got 3 times where the bulls came and injected buy volume within the market. That is a pretty solid potential there, and I think this would be a good opportunity to either enter with your full position or enter with a feeler and then wait until this breaks in order to enter a full position size. So let's just say in this example, we want to enter a feeler position. This means we're entering, let's say 20, 25, or even 10, max 30% of your total position within this zone. And then once we're able to break and then retest, we would enter with the rest of our position size. So that is our first entry, because we've seen three times where the buyers came back and pushed the price above or back up, injecting buy volume into the market in order to hold it above our key level. And also looking just at horizontal zones, we see this zone right here as well. Previous level of resistance, support. This is a resistance because it could not break above the zone, and then it turned into a support, and then it turned into a resistance. So it's going to be a level of sensitivity for us. And we can just define that a little bit closer like so. And overall, that does look pretty good. And then we're going to have our stop off below our previous low. Theoretically, this could be the stop loss right here as well, but I'm going to give the price a little bit more room because we have such a high take profit. And then we're going to put the stop loss below this low to really give the price action enough room to breathe. So then we have a high probability of the price continuing if it does hold above this horizontal or descending zone. So this is the final take profit where we're going to have our start of the supply zone, and then we're going to have a mid-range take profit at the high here. And let's just see what that risk reward is going to yield us. 2.5, and then the final is going to be 6.8, which is very, very significant. But we'll definitely want to put in a smaller one in between our two key zones, because that's a lot of space that we're going to be needing to cover in order to actually make sense of the risk rewards. Let's just go back. We're looking for a mid-range zone, nothing crazy. I think I already see one right around here. Previous level of resistance and support. We see that kind of bounce with the wick there, and then a wick, so it kind of could be anywhere near here. I think that's the area that we're going to be selecting. And then just looking at it in terms of spacing, it's probably a little bit closer to the second level that I want, so I think we want it a little bit higher. So So I think at this zone might be the second best option because we see a candle closure here and then support held here and then the massive rejection off the new level of resistance. We could put one a little bit lower, but it's a little bit too close to the first take profit. I kind of wanted one. I wanted to find a zone within the middle kind of the two zones, and I think that's the area that I'm going to select because it looks a little bit more even with the overall take profit structure that we're looking to attain. So on the 4 hour, before we jump in right into 1 hour again, we saw, let's just get our snip because we can really look and see what the 4 hour candles are telling us. So we got our initial bullish push. We did get rejected at our resistance zone right here. The next candle showed a very, very big long wick to the downside, showing there's a lot of bullish pressure within the market. The next candle tried to push up above the resistance, but it got halted yet again. So we're now in a consolidation area where it's just horizontal resistance and descending support, and we're just playing in between these two markets right now, and the bias is going to be up because we've now broken above and retested our major horizontal zone of supply, which is right here. So there's going to be a lot more buyers within the area than there are sellers because the horizontal zone is more respected than the descending zone. So basically we're just squeezing and then we got a break. We are seeing support bounces all along here. We're seeing the price hold this key zone within the chart. So I'm going to look to potentially enter at this zone. So now that we've talked about that, we can now go on to the 1 hour and discuss the exact entry why we entered where we're entering at this point in time. As we saw a lot of injections of buy volume after breaking our descending resistance. We see our first injection of buy volume here after breaking the resistance. We see our second injection of buy volume right here, and then we are seeing our third injection of buy volume right here for the third time, giving us enough validation that we could be looking for a good long here. And in another situation, let's say we wanted to add to our position, we'd wait for the price to break our $18.4 range. Let's just get our arrow. So we're waiting for the price to break this zone, hold it on the 1 hour and 4 hour ideally, and then pull it back, retest it for a new level of support, and then we look to enter. But overall, I'm happy with this trade. I'm happy with this initial entrance because yes, we are right below a minor level of resistance, but we have also identified the bigger aspect of the time frame as well as the descending zone breaking and seeing so many zones or so many buyers hold the price up. So let's just continue and see what this will provide us in terms of the profit, in terms of the trade management. So let's just play along and see what we're able to find. Got a little push up. Again, with the rejection from that sell zone, not too surprising. We're really wanting to see the price break above that area. And we're still seeing the price hold below that zone. Let's see if it's able to break it. We're still holding. So initially we do see a break. I'm not calling this a breakout yet. Let's see if it's able to continue. We see a little pullback. I don't want to call this a breakout yet. And there we go. It looks like we could be breaking out soon. Let's just quickly look on the 4 hour chart to discuss how this looks out. So on the 4 hour, we do see a clear break above the zone, which is good. We could see a pullback, but overall, we do see that the bullish push has extended above our zone that we've been holding below, which is going to take out a lot of take profits take out a lot of stop losses for shorts. We're also going to be shifting the confidence from the sellers now to the buyers because this was the key level that the sellers were trying to hold. Once it got above it, there's more momentum towards the upside. So let's see what happens next. But overall, we're looking a little bit more bullish. We've broken above the zone of consolidation, and it looks like we could be retesting it unless we fall back in. Let's see what the next couple candles will bring us. So we got our very solid push. That was a nice pullback validating the zone. Let's quickly look on the 4 hour again. So we got a nice validation of a new level of support, previous level of resistance, and it's looking really good so far for this trade. So let's continue on. We're not changing anything. We're not changing take profits. We're not going to do anything. We've already set up the plan. We've already established exactly what we're going to do. So now it's just playing the tape and seeing what the outcome is going to be. Seeing a slight pullback from these levels there. That's all right. Let's just continue on with the analysis. We're looking like we could hit our first take profit here. Let's see if that hit our first take profit. Does not look like we did. Oh, we did. Okay, awesome. Look, we see that the wick just came above it. We closed at 8598 and the price was at 8579. So that first take profit has been hit, which then will immediately make us move our stop loss. Now to break even. Now we are in a positive trade, we will not get a negative trade whatsoever, and then we can use this zone as a representation of our stop loss at this point. So we would just move our stop loss to just above break even, so we're covering commissions and all that stuff. So first take profit hit looks pretty good. I don't want to move my stop loss up just yet, maybe just a little bit below this minor level of support, but overall I don't want to be taking a huge profit, or I don't want to be taking a huge risk by putting my stop loss up here, because it could easily get hit with the price and then I get wicked out. So I want to give my price quite a bit of room to breathe. It looks very good, it looks healthy. We'll definitely get some sensitivity at these zones. I'm expecting that, so I want to give the price room, but overall it's looking pretty healthy of a move towards the upside. So let's continue on with the analysis, taking it one candle at a time. So there is that sensitivity that we talked about. We're seeing a decent amount of sellers coming into the market. See a strong level of a bounce at this point right here. Let's continue on with our analysis. Seeing the price make those higher lows. It is hesitating a little bit. I don't want to get wicked out here with a one little wick, but if it does come back, I'm basically going to have 33% of my take profit here, and then the rest of it will be here. So it won't be a big winner, but I want to ensure that I'm still going to be in the trade, because this does look healthy, and we knew we were going to get an interaction at these highs here. We knew that there was going to be a level of resistance we have to pass, but overall, we're still making those higher lows, so it's looking pretty good. Unfortunately, we did make a lower low. We did hold that zone, but that's not looking awesome for our trade. And let's see if it hits our stop loss. Very close to hitting our stop loss. I might want to give the price room, because I think at this point we could see a bounce off this zone. So I'm not really losing much from going from here to here. And if we are able to get the price to hold kind of this larger zone, that would be ideal. So I'm going to leave this here, and I'm just going to have my stop loss there. If it hits my stop loss, not an awesome large win, but still I hit my TP, so I'm happy. So let's continue on with analysis. We do see more buy volume coming into the market, which is pretty good, but we did break that recent low, which is creating a lower low, so that's not ideal. What I might do is, if the price does come back up here, it might take a little bit more profit off, but let's just continue on with the analysis. So we're seeing a little bit more buy volume come into the market. Not awesome at all, but we did see a higher low there, and a little bit of bullish volume coming in. I do think that it's not looking awesome for our trade, but at this point, you're just trusting in the system that it is going to yield you the correct profitability over time. So we're seeing the higher low there. So it's looking pretty good. We're getting a mid-range zone here, which is now holding as a new level of support, previous resistance. So pretty good. So I think at this point, I think I'm going to move my stop loss just to below the recent low there. I wanted to ensure that we're capturing some profits, but also allowing the price to continue towards the momentum that I want it to go, which is up. And then we see a nice little descending trend line there. So if we're able to break this zone, it'll look pretty good. If we're going to reject off it, we're probably going to hit our stop loss. We might want to move our stop loss below this little zone there. So let's see what it does. It's rejecting off it right now. We broke above it. Okay, so now we're going to move our stop loss up to here. It's a little confusing. Let's just take this out, and hopefully we break that zone. Does not look like we're able to break it. Let's just move this up a little bit higher. Capturing a little bit more of our profit if it does inevitably come back down and break below our support zone. So we're not seeing that just yet, but we are seeing quite the hesitation above these zones here. And I think it's running out a little bit of steam. Let's see. We will get stopped out if the price does come below our zone, but for now it's holding it still. It's holding it, which is nice. But we're not seeing buyers come into the market yet. Holy shit. Okay, so there you go. Boom. Now that we are above our previous resistance zone, we're definitely now going to move our take stop loss just below this area here, because that's the zone that we could potentially retest before we move up higher. So our stop loss is now just below the zone here, and then we're now going to our second take profit zone, which is around the $21 mark. So let's continue on with the price action. Let's see if that hit our take profit. I don't think it did. No, it did not hit our take profit, so we're still just doing exactly what we've been doing. No change with our analysis. So let's see if we're able to hit that second take profit. Still making those higher highs. Pullback. Okay, boom. So there is our second take profit hit. So what are we going to do with our stop loss? We're going to now move it up higher, giving the price some room to breathe, while also being able to capture some profits along the way. So it's looking really good. The last take profit definitely looks attainable. We have our stop loss now above a minor level of support. We can see that right here. Oops, this is now our, minor level of support. If the price goes below it, we're going to take our stop and take the win. And the price is able to stay above it. That's great news for us. So let's continue on with the analysis and see what we're able to get here. Still climbing, still making those higher highs. Not really seeing a lower high yet. There is the lower low. Okay, so we got a pretty strong pullback to a major level, previous level of resistance, new level of support. We're going to definitely give the price a little bit of room to breathe down here, but we want to ensure that we're taking profits and not just leaving it down there. We're slowly increasing upwards, so we're going to have our stop loss zone just below a previous minor level of support. So let's continue on with our analysis, and potentially we will see that last take profit get hit, so the price hits the zone of supply, and boom, right there we got a zone of supply to get hit. And that is all our take profit zones complete. So let's look at the 1 hour chart yet again, breaking it down. So this was the most challenging part to hold. Let's just get our snip here. So this is by far the most challenging thing to hold because we were seeing lower lows and lower highs. This is a high, this is a lower high, this is a lower high, this is a low, this is a lower low, but we just had our stop loss just above our entrance. So yeah, theoretically you could have said that's lucky because it didn't move, 0.5% more to the downside to take me out. And yeah, that is sometimes lucky. There's definitely a little bit of luck involved with it. But overall, I don't want to move my stop loss too high up when the price is still within the take profit 2 and entrance range. I want a TP level 1, but risk reward of 2 basically is what I was trying to say. And then we saw those lower highs form, lower high, lower high. This is a higher high, but we saw those lower highs creating our descending resistance. And then we got a massive buy order, really just totally shifting the trend back up to the upside. And that basically initiated the rest of the momentum in order to hit our 2 other TP levels that we had there. So that was a huge move from our initial resistance zone, which we've been holding right here, right here, right here, right here, all along. And then once the price broke, it basically changed the momentum drastically in order to hit the rest of our take profits. But overall, the move from our entrance to the first take profit was very swift. It was quick. It was easy to hold with. Everything else was definitely a little bit more challenging to hold. From TP2 to TP3 was pretty quick because there was a push, pullback, and then an explosion in volume. But from TP1 to TP2 was definitely a long hold. I'm talking from this point here, and we had to hold all here until our TP2 got hit right there. So it's definitely a long hold, and I try my very best to give the price room because of these situations. We knew we were going to have resistance at these zones, and that's what happened again. But like looking at the overall time frames, we have to A, trust in the system, and B, look at the bigger 4-hour chart or even the daily chart and see the momentum is to the upside. Even looking at the daily chart, let's just check it out here. So we got a push to the upside, breaking a key level on the chart. This is going to be a key level on the chart, this guy right here. So we got a resistance, we got a pullback, we got a push above the key zone, and then we're looking to validate it as a new level of new level of support, which we did. Previous level of resistance equals new level of support, and then we were looking for a descending zone at that chart there. Once we broke the descending zone, that confirms the shift in trend. We're looking for a minor level of support that it held, which is going to be right here. We entered at that point, and then we're looking to hit the next area of supply, and that's exactly what happened. So this is a perfect situation of a potential move, and I hope you learned something from it. This is exactly how we trade live every single day. We look for opportunities where it provides us with squeezes where the price has to make a decision, and then we act upon that decision made. Hopefully the price will continue within their intended direction. So if you found this to be useful, definitely join the Discord. We have a ton more information there absolutely for free. And if you've been enjoying these paper trading sessions, definitely leave a comment below so we know that you enjoy them and we know that they are valuable to someone. And if you'd like me to cover a specific pair, let me know in the comments. And if it's a good idea, if it looks like a good pair that I would potentially trade, then I'll look at it and potentially do some analysis on it. But for now, this is the outcome of that trade. Just looking at the 1 hour beforehand, we see a nice 2 pullbacks. Let's just talk about it a little bit on the 1 hour right before we are completed the paper trading session. So we got a nice resistance there and a nice consolidation. We were bouncing from resistance to support. The reason why we longed at the low there, because we had 1, 2, 3 zones where we saw buy pressure come into the market. That signifies that there's bullish pressure keeping the price above a certain zone, and that's also in confluence with a key level of support, and also the level of support created from the descending zone, which is a previous resistance, turning into a new level of support. So overall, there was a lot of confluence and a lot of demand that we could see within that area, and that gives us enough confidence that we can risk off of those levels in order to potentially see some upward momentum. That's exactly what we got, which is really nice to see. And then we did hold a nice level of resistance there for a while. We consolidated in between our zone, bouncing off resistance to support. We were very patient. We didn't act with our emotions. We act logically, slowly increasing our stop loss. And once we saw the initial momentum to the upside, we basically got a straight line right to our second take profit level. So overall, that's a good way to manage risk while you're going and trying to capture profits on the way up. I hope that this has provided someone with value. And if you have any questions, leave a comment. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of the week. And as always, happy trading.